Hello, hello, friends. It is Stephanie, and I am back today with another edition of my planner journey from Behind the Designs. And today I plan on sharing with you the planners, journals, and notebooks, and all the fun things that I intend to bring into 2026, or at least start the year with. All right, so, these are some of the more, you know, much anticipated videos, not only to make, but also to watch. And I'm not going to lie, I have watched videos and I kind of, get on a passion about it to watch videos where other people are talking about what they're bringing into 2026, how they're going to use it, um, and kind of the thought process. And that's, no different than what I'm going to give you today. So I'm just letting you know I too watch them because they're exciting. There is something about starting a brand new year with shiny new toys, I guess you'd call them. You know how it was, you'd go into a school year and, you would get all the new notebooks and the pencils and the Trapper Keepers, if those were your times, you know what I mean, that it's exciting. And while today I'm going to be sharing with you what I'm going to bring into the year with, they're not necessarily in the covers that I will be bringing in because, those will change out. But I'm going to show you the systems that I'm going to bring in, what I'm going to use them for. And kind of the extras or other things that may play a part in 2026. So I have some fun things coming to the blog and shop in 2026, and I am ready to jump into the new year, but not before celebrating friends and family during the Christmas time. But I want to be ready. I have gone back and forth on what ones I'm going to use, what I'm going to bring in. I had the stack like this, we all kind of do it. We have these high and lofty expectations, and we're going to use all the planners. And, by 2 months in, you're maybe using one. So I have I have taken a very long time and a lot of thought time into what I'm going to bring into 2026. So again, these may not be what I carry throughout the entire year. But right now, these are the things that I feel that are going to be beneficial to me in doing what I want to do and the goals I want to meet. And so that's what I'm going to share with you today. So just bear in mind, there'll be, covers are not going to be what I'm going to take into January. For that video of what the one planner is or journal, for whatever I am going to change the cover out to and or decorate for the first of the month, or I should say first of the year, that you have to stay tuned for. So, sometime around maybe mid-December, depending on how things are going, my plan is to put it out by then. But those videos will start coming out in sequence about setups of those planners that I'm going to show you today. So to kind of keep it short, hopefully, and we can all just kind of relax into the weekend, do our Christmas shopping, I'm going to try and keep it short. So I'm going to dive right in. And I'll try and keep my talking to a minimum. You know me, I'm a chatty bug. It's just what I do. Okay, so there is for me a difference between planners, journals, and all else. Meaning for me, when I talk about a planner, it has a calendar in it. So an agenda, a calendar, whether it's monthly, daily, weekly, daily, or whatever your combination is, it's got to have some kind of calendar in it. To me, that's a planner. So, for me, planner is the calendar. Journal is anything that might be, lined, dot grid, whatever you're doing, literally writing, journaling out, or you're doing memory keeping, or things of that nature. So I have at the moment, and I say that because I have woken up in the middle of the night, thinking about this. What am I going to bring in? What do I want to use? How I want to do it? So let me show you thus far what I have been doing in case you're new on my channel. first, I have been using an A5 Planner Perfect Traveler's Notebook, and these are a cover. This is the first one, let me say, because again, these are what are currently. So I do have a future plans book in it. Again, this is just a journal. I haven't even done anything in it. And then I have my A5 Daisy book. So this is the first of my, I guess you'd say like main planners that I've been currently using. I'll try and keep the keep it flowing with the what I'm bringing in by size. Okay, so next up is a Planner Perfect wide traveler's notebook. And in this book, I have four, let me make sure my notes are tucked away. I've got three 12-month planners plus my project book. So I've been using this one for YouTube, this one for my blog, and I did have one in here that I took out for my newsletter and all else, but I was using that earlier in the week, so I just haven't put it back in here yet. So here is my second planner. And then the last one, which is currently, well, I shouldn't say last one, but it is the last one with the calendar. So the last one here is my fall setup, which is in a narrow. And really in this narrow, I was keeping my monthly plan book in a journal. And that's kind of it. So in all, this has been what I've been doing. So, I've got A5, wide, narrow. All of these have been kind of the system for, we'll say, the better part of 2025. So what am I doing with all of this? Well, let me introduce one more because it's really only temporary, but it is going to replace this for December. That is my Christmas planner. And this also is in a Planner Perfect cover. And so this one will go away. And this will stay in for the month of December. Just trying to stack those off to the side. So through December 31st, these are the ones I'm using. Now, I did add in just recently, I should say, back in. I was using it in the beginning of the year, and I recently felt the need to pull it back in because I needed it organized. I needed what I wanted to use it for organized in such a way that only this system could do it. And that is my disc bound system, which is a junior size. So, you've seen me back in the day of when I started my channel using a classic happy planner. Then, and again, Traveler's Notebooks kind of floated around. Then I went into a mini, which showed to be too small for the function that I wanted it for. I came into 2025 with this, ditched it about, I don't know, I think April or May, thinking I'm going to do it all in Traveler's Notebooks, and it is doable. But for what I'm trying to do in 2026, I needed a little bit more organization. So I went back into the disc system in a junior size. So here's my pile, my kind of current pile. And that's what I've been using. So where am I going? So again, this is, if you were new, you kind of can see what I've been doing in a short and quick, as opposed to watching all the videos if that's, something you didn't want to do. So obviously, come January 1st, this goes away, which is my Christmas planner. And also, since this is mainly 3 12-month calendars, obviously, they're going to end. And I have decided not to use this type of setup, with the 3 12-month calendars. I think I've got it figured out using other things. So this 2 in a wide will go away. Okay, so then we have my A5. So let's talk a bit about this. This is going into 2026 with me. And I'm not saying this, I'm saying A5. So this is going to be something that I plan to maintain it as it is. So you saw when I flipped through it originally, I had my 2026 planner in here, 12-month planner. So I've got some things already in there. This will become the 12-month planner that replaces the 3 12-month planners. Because my thought process was, while I could do, again, the 3 12-month planners, I didn't need to, because if I go to an A5, I can include all the stuff in here. The other thing that this is going to replace is my monthly plan book, meaning I was in a narrow, I went to wide, I went back to narrow. So my plan book, my monthly plan book has kind of jumped around a bit in sizes, but I'm not entirely sure. That's the uncertainty at this moment. I'm not entirely sure that I'm going to pull in a monthly plan book because it has a calendar in it, but I already have calendars. So again, I'm trying to minimize how much time I'm planning so that I can focus more on what I said I was going to do in my plans. So this calendar is replacing all the calendars. So 3 wide sizes and 1 narrow. Now, again, in a monthly plan book, you have the monthly, the goals, the weekly, and then the dailies. Let me see if I have anything in December here I can show you. Okay, December of 26 is clear at the moment. So what will effectively change for me is this calendar will now be the calendar for all 4 of those other calendars. This is now my 3 12-month calendars with my narrow, which was, again, kind of the culmination of what I said I was going to do in the wide. It all went in the narrow, and then I did my plan. So this is going to be everything. Now, with this type of setup, you do get, blank pages after that. So I intend to use, at the moment, at least 2 pages for goals. I may go down to 1. Again, I got to kind of, with having to do all the ones that I'm doing now, I have to kind of get a moment to sit down and kind of think about it. So I will have a month. No problem. The blocks are big enough. I will have room, plenty of room, to write all of that information in. I've got pages 1 or 2, at least for goals, and then I've got a couple pages after that will become whatever. Notes. I may structure the page by week so I can kind of, but for me, sometimes there's a redundancy going from a month to a week, meaning I can go to the month and I can see everything that needs to be done in a week. I don't see the point of rewriting it. So sometimes the weeklies to me feel redundant. And then I could literally go from monthly to dailies, if that be the case. So my thought right now is it's going to be structured like that. I may do a week or 2 in these pages, but my thinking was that if I feel I need a daily planner, that I will take a journal and use that as my daily planner. So, just a blank journal. It could be blank, it could be dot lined, it could be lined, whichever. And that will function as my daily planner. So I will, of course, have extra pages. Those could become notes for whatever I want for that month. So that's where I'm thinking at the moment. This will maintain as it was. It's kind of that reference, long-term memory commonplace. It's a mixture of all of those. So this is my A5 Daisy, and I plan on using this a little bit more heavily in 2026 than I have in 2025. So all the work I've been doing has kind of been leading up to taking something out of the mix. So A5 is going to stay. That's my first planner. So let's just, I won't even put that on. Let me just do this. I can tuck it off to the side here. Okay, so this is the A5 Planner Perfect Traveler's Notebook that's staying. Function of it is going to be somewhat different, but it's going to be the everything else. And to everything else, this is what I mean. This is going to be coming into 2026 with me. Again, it won't necessarily have this look, but the disc system for the things I want to do, my goals in 26 are going to, again, in my mind, I need this. I just need this structure. So again, it is a junior size. It will from month to month have a different look. Cover, some vellums and dashboards, but tab wise, it's going to remain the same. Unless through some strange occurrence, I find that I need something different or something more. So this is going to effectively become all things blog and shop. And then this is the everything else. It's going to be all the personal, all the social media. It's probably going to be more social media than personal. It's just how my schedule's working. So that's really what this A5 is going to become. So in 2026, there's going to be these two joining me, and I'm super excited about that. I have some fun things for January that I want to use, and I can't wait to use them. So these two are coming in. What else? Well, let me share. Let me make some room and let me grab it. Okay, so what is coming in 2026 is a new A5. I kind of may have given hints along the way about bringing this teal A5 Daisy book from Planner Perfect into 2026 with me. I never said what it was going to be for, but now I'm going to tell you. So this A5 is going to come in. I'm going to give it a try. Again, if it doesn't work, no harm, no foul. No, I'm not worried about it. But with this, my thinking was to, before I tell you what it is, my thinking is to bring this in as well. This I have shown. This is an A5 Archer and Olive folio, zippered folio. And I, again, happened to pick it up off of Buy Sell Trade. And this I found and discovered that it fits the A5 Daisy book perfectly. And it zips up right around it like a cute little sleeve. I've got some extra room. This will kind of square off as I get using it. So what am I using it for? Well, I intend to use it for a photo journal. So that's brand new for me. I've not done that before. I've done memory keeping, but this is going to be slightly different. This is going to be anything and everything that might catch my eye. Whether I'm grabbing photos for memory keeping or snapping photos of things I love in that moment, my thinking was to, I can decorate the page if I want, but my thinking was to date the page, and then I will print off so that I keep the bulk to a minimum. I will print off on my printer all the pictures that I want to include at any time. This is not something you will see regularly. If you see it at all, it's going to be very infrequent, only because it's going to be something I do in the background. But I will print them off, put the pictures in here. I'm going to label, whatever, who's in the picture, the date it was taken, what it's for, if it's an inspiration, what is it about it I'm inspired by. So that's kind of what I'm intending to use this new A5 book for. And I'm kind of excited to do that because I am a serial photo and screenshot taker. So I am forever, taking things, and my phone is full, like photos, crazy. So I thought if I kind of started documenting them, maybe my camera won't be so full of photos, if that makes sense. So this is new to me. It's going to be something that I intend to, I'm just trying to work out this spine. I'm intending to bring it in. This is a second A5. So in my last or second last video, I talked about creating a new size mind map for the Planner Perfect mind map. So Planner Perfect has on their website an 8.5 by 11 sized mind map system setup. It is a great system. I love the concept of it. It just was a little too big for me. So I kind of did a video where I shared like all these different ways in which you can maybe downsize that if that size wasn't workable for you. And it involved for me an A5 size. I did introduce new covers. All of those covers will make an appearance in 2026. Those are just the covers, but for me, the meat of the bones of my, what I'm telling you I'm using something for is the actual book itself. So it's the planner pages or the book. It's not so much the cover. And, again, traveler's notebooks and disc system, they can intermingle. You can use all one or all the other. It just depends on like how you want to see your plans. So for example, these have all these tabs. I could create those same tabs in an A5. The only difference is in here, you're going to see all the tabs sticking out here or all the tabs sticking out here. That's the only difference. And if that doesn't bother you, the 3M tabs, sticky tabs, those will work wonderful for you. So, any system, you can make any system work. You just have to either vow to never touch the other system again so that you force yourself to learn the newer way to use this system, or, vice versa, whatever you're coming from. Or you can just be like me and concede to the fact that while I love the Traveler's Notebook system, I want a little more organization for some things, and that's where you just can't beat a disc system. So that is my little PSA for the day. But it is, I'm excited about 2026 because I have these things in place, and I can't wait to start using them. So one more before I let you go. So, I've got my A5, which is everything else. I've got my Junior, which is my blog and shop. I've got this, which is going to become a photo journal. So there's only one more. Again, you're not going to probably see it much, but it's going to kind of be floating around in the background of my planning system, which is, and again, don't mind the cover, a narrow traveler's notebook, because again, I can switch out the covers anytime I want. I can, match the month, match a color I'm inspired by. I can do whatever. I can change the cover whenever I want, but it's the function of what's inside that I'm eager to bring into 2026 with, which is the traveler's notebook journals. So, these journals are, I'll pull out a blank page here. I choose, you don't have to choose these, but these are my preferred journal books, which are the books from Planner Perfect. And I love getting a blank page because it gives me a blank slate to make the page whatever I want to make it. I have done a few pages like this autumn train ride that we did. I've done that video, it's up on the channel. Be sure to check it out. But it's something that I can make whatever I want. And I do have a number of both narrow and wide journals, but I do have more in the narrow size that I really want to kind of finish up. So you can see this one started. You can tell. let's see. So you can tell where the fluffy pages are and where the fluffy pages aren't. So these are 2 journals I am still working through. I will probably change them out with the season. So for example, this one's almost done, so I will likely change this out for a Christmas theme one. I was keeping themed journals for the month. So as I said, I have a number in stock. And I want to start using that stock up. I want to finish the books. I want to do the memory keeping. I don't journal per se, I do more memory keeping. I include photos, memorabilia, that type of thing. And this is different than the photo journal I'm talking about in here. So for example, in here, it will hold personal memories. So there is some journaling, but it's really journaling about what happened on that day the photo was taken, that type of thing. So this is really more memory keeping. So what went away? I mean, you've seen these of late. You've seen my A5, you've seen, my junior, you've seen this one. You've not seen this set up in the way I'm going to use it, but you have seen these things. So what went away? Well, the one thing that is definitely going to go away, at least as I go into 26, may not stay that way, but that's the way how it's going to be when I start out. And that is the wide. So I do think these are kind of interchangeable for me, meaning size-wise, narrow and, wide. The things that I'm doing in them are things that I have extra books for, so I can pull out any size I want. I have covers for both, but it's all memory keeping. So I felt like I could probably get rid of one of the big things, and that meant giving up my wide. So the wide is going away. That gives me 2 A5s. Let's bring this beast in here, which, by the way, this is quite heavy. I don't know. Is it heavier than this? Let me see. They might be about the same. I'm blessed enough to be able to work from home, so I don't have a need to, worry about the size. If I wanted to do 8.5 by 11, I could do that. I don't have to worry about hauling it into work and, carrying it everywhere I go and the tote bag and all that. That's the beauty of it. I don't have to worry about that. So for me, the aesthetic of having, maybe matching colors, throughout the covers. You saw me, I had this one, and then also the wide prunella. So this is prunella A5, prunella wide. This is a current setup. Cover, dashboards, etc. come from Jane's Agenda. This is an Amazon Harris Tweed Traveler's Notebook cover. This is in my Amazon cart. Planner Perfect, I have a code for you. It's in the description box below as well. I'll pop it on the screen. But as well, if you are interested in grabbing some Jane's Agenda items, I have a link for you as well in the description box below. No matter what system you use, do what works for you. So while I could absolutely keep up this 3-part system, I'm only mildly changing it a little bit, but I am going to be getting rid of this one. So, let's fast forward a bit. What does that mean come, December 2026? Because I have a Christmas planner. Well, it either means that I'm going to incorporate it into here somehow, or I'm going to incorporate it into here or something. But will I have a separate one? At this moment, I'm saying no. That remains to be seen. More to come. That's more than 12 months away. But for now, I wanted to share, and I don't have enough room to keep them all in screen here. I wanted to share with you what I'm planning on starting the year with. These two will not change. These two you will see, in my monthly planning videos. These two you're not likely to see because, again, they're just photos and memory keeping. I may do a page or two, like a setup on video for you, or maybe I'll do it on Instagram. I don't know yet, but these are kind of going to be floating around in the background. And then these two here will be the nuts and bolts, the inside of these two. So the inside of here and the inside of here, they will remain as they are. The difference is I will change out covers, dashboards, whatever. And that's how I'm going to go into 2026. I could almost feel like from the things I've done video-wise and the things I've said, you probably could have figured that out a bit. But it's not like it's a big secret. This is what is working for me. So that should be something that, you think about as you go into 2026. I did do, I believe it was at least 2 brainstorming videos where I showed you how I kind of brainstormed what I was doing and how I was processing the information to try and get to this point. Is this what was in the final results of the last one I did? No. In fact, there were, I think, a lot more in there, how I was thinking. But, I got to pulling them out based on what I said. And I'm like, I just don't want all that. I want to build a system that carries me through all the facets I need to manage and doesn't have me planning longer than it does to actually do the things. So you've heard me say it before. Sometimes we overplan and, you create pages and dashboards and pictures and pages and whatnot because you can and because it's there and it's fun to create it. And that's great. I'm not saying don't do it. All I'm saying is your planning should never overshadow the things you're planning for. And that's kind of where it got away from me. I was spending so much time writing in all the books that I was stressing myself out to get the things done. So hopefully this is a shortened version of my ultimate setup. I don't know if I'll say ultimate, but there is an ultimate setup for everyone. Do you add to it, take away from it, and so forth? Absolutely, because that's what we do as planner people. We like to change it up, mix it up, refresh the thing that has become the everyday so that it's fresh and new. It's kind of like that new year, shiny new year. You get to dust off, the old year. You got 365 days of goodness coming, plans and goals and dreams and wishes and all the things. So why not start off on a good foot? I think this is my good foot. These two are not going anywhere. These are not daily. These are basically daily. So you will, probably again about middle December-ish maybe. Stay tuned, be sure you're subscribed, turn on that notification, and you will be part of when I am setting these two up for the coming year. There's nothing to set up in these. They're just books within a cover. It's the things I do in the background that are really more for me. So stay tuned for that. Fun things are coming in 2026. Every year, I'm super excited and I kick off the year. And I think I've already chosen my word of the year. So if you are someone who likes to do that, like I do, and you're kind of struggling a bit, be sure to stop over at the Behind the Design shop, grab the printable for word of the year. So it helps you, it's a guideline and a guide to help you choose your word of the year. And you can scale it. It is resizable. So print it off, start working in it. And that's really kind of how I got to where I think I've narrowed down my word of the year. So I almost said it a few times in this video, but if you want to see what I've chosen, you're going to have to stay tuned because that's a separate video. So, all right, I will stop talking now. And I just want to say that I have thoroughly enjoyed doing these videos for you. And I want to thank you for joining me, for watching my videos, listening through my little chatties. And, I hope in some way, shape, or form, I've seen the comments. You have been inspired. You've done changes. You've modified things. And that's my ultimate goal, is to be able to inspire you in your planning journey to plan your best life so that you create a beautiful life. And that's really my goal too. So stay tuned in 2026, stay tuned to coming videos, and we're going to have a lot of fun. So there you are. I want to thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider hitting that subscribe button as well as the bell notification. And I will see you next week.